So I was just going to make a video on replacing the oxygen sensor in this 1997 GMC Sonoma, which is my new vehicle. So I'll save the introduction for that video, but the more pressing concern is the leak on the bottom. I believe it's power steering. So we're going to take a look and see what we got. Alright, so first thing, I went underneath and I turned this and opened this up, and all the fluid is kind of leaking out of this and dripping off of this bolt here. So if I look up, I see there's a drip on the oil filter, but really I think, let me see, I think I want to just take this whole shield off. We got two bolts there, one there, two there, and then hopefully the shield will come off and I can get a better look as to what the hell is going on underneath. So let's do that. Let's start with these two 15s. Oh, alright. I thought it broke. It's just it just went in the socket. Alright, that's a much better view. So if we look clearly, here is where all the leaking is happening. I'm actually going to spray this whole section down with brake clean. I got a pan underneath to catch as much as I can. And we're just going to spray this down, and I'll wipe it off, but we're going to do that and then we're going to let it sit and see where the leak comes from. Okay, so it might look like there's two spots, but I accidentally kicked this thing. If I look up, this box right here with the yellow thing going in it has a drip on it, which leads me to believe that the drip is above that, because I think that's a sensor for the airbags. It's a really slow leak. I think the drip just happened. You can kind of see it on the corner. So I'll take a looky-loo and bring you guys back. Aha! That's a cooler, and it's pretty wet. And I just followed that up from where it was dripping. I had it running, and then there was an active drip while it was running. So let's get back in there. I'm going to take off the fan shroud. There's 3 bolts up here, 2 on either side to take it off. Okay, I loosened 1, 2, 3, 4, and then down here 5, 6, and there were these 2 clips that you just pry out with a screwdriver. Pulled this out, pulled this cover off, and you can see in here this thing is in pretty rough shape and it's wet. And I mean, right there you can see the transition where it gets wet. So this is a cooler, so that means I need a new cooler. So it looks like it's just held on with this bolt right here, and then over here these 2 hoses get disconnected. Alright guys, very sorry I didn't show it, but I need to get this truck out of here pretty quick because I got another guy coming tomorrow. There was another bolt on the bottom, so there's 2, and I just pulled this out. It was kind of just snapped in there, and then it kind of went in here and turned in this corner going on this side. So I had to remove the headlight right here, and to do that there's this little adjuster bracket that just had a bolt that goes into the back, and then it swivels like that, and so I spilled it out of the way. And there's also this guard here that was just held in by those plastic clips where you just pry out the stem with a screwdriver. And after finagling and wiggling and a little bending, I finally got it out. And you have to be careful not to damage the condenser. So it probably would have been easier if I took this off. There's 3 bolts up here and probably 1 or 2 down there, but I felt like I didn't need to. And again, it would have been easier if I took the bumpers off, but that's a whole other ball game I don't feel like getting into. So that's it for removal. Now I need to get another one of those. Hopefully I can get one quick. Alright, you guys are going to like this one. This part is difficult to find. It's a weird part. I could go to the dealer. That's going to be expensive, and it might take a while, or they might not even have it. This is an old car. Or I can go to the junkyard, but then it's like, again, it takes time, and it might not last long or be very good. So I am just going to make a new one. So I got this big old brake line, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut off these fittings here. I'm just going to be really careful and use the angle grinder, and we're going to cut these off so we can have something to bend into a new cooler. Alright, here we go. Oh, gotta plug it in first. Okay, didn't touch the line. Let's just pry that. Put that gently in the vise. Okay, I managed to get them both off with just scratching the paint on the line. So I'm pretty happy with that. So next we need to just bend this into a good shape. So I hope this goes okay. I'm just going to try to copy, not exactly this pattern. It's not going to look exactly like this. But I need to have this length kind of right, and this length kind of right. And then here I could just do like a couple turns. I'm going to be improvising, so, and I think it's going to be a lot harder than I initially believed. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to bend this up. Remember, we got this thing, and we're going to just use that as like a template. Alright, after a lot of work, all it is just a loop, and I might bend it to make it more straight, but they go back, and I even put the lines on them. So the only thing I want to do next is just kind of wobbling around in there. So I just want to tack weld a little teeny piece of steel that comes up and goes into this bolt, and that should hold it from moving around for the most part. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. Alright guys, I realized I couldn't use this bolt because that is used later because there's a cover that goes over this. So I just super hacked it and used zip ties. And I can hear the comments now. Oh man, I can hear them. But this is my truck, and if it breaks, I'll just fix it again. It's not a big deal. So, and I'll know if it breaks because I will hear the power steering pump whine. So, yes, I know this is super hack. Man, is this a hack way to do it? But it cost me $10, and I need this truck done. So for now, it's gonna work, and this is real life for you. Okay. Oh, all right. Since I skipped most of the disassembly, I can at least show the reassembly. So actually, let me bring you over here. Okay, so here's the light. You see how it bends back? Well, let's get a light in there. There is an adjusting bracket right here that we're going to have to screw out. I'm just gonna guess where it was. You know, we just adjust it later. It was about right there. And then this guy goes back and tap like that. There's a little dimple that goes in there that receives it. There's two holes, one for the dimple, one for the bolt. So, oops, sorry guys. We're just gonna put this bolt back in. Alright, so next we're just gonna put this pump back in where it's supposed to go. Snaps into place. There we go. So before I actually bolt everything on, we gotta put this shield back on because it slips underneath. There we go. Okay, and then we have two bolts going through here in the front, one above the GMC and one below. Alright, that's on there pretty tight. So before we put the rest back on and button everything up, I'm just going to see if we still have leaks. Watch out for that fan. I went to turn the wheel and I realized there's no fluid, so let's just put some fluid in it. Okay, let's try that again with fluid. Well, it doesn't look like there are any leaks. I gotta put more fluid in it, and yeah, so it's looking pretty good so far. Alright, what we're gonna do next is, there's air in the system now because it was open. I have the cap off of the reservoir, and we're just gonna start it up and turn the steering wheel lock to lock a bunch of times until the sound either goes away ideally or gets, you know, considerably less. So you gotta hope you didn't damage the pump by running it without fluid. So we're gonna do that now. Alright, now that I'm happy that the system doesn't leak anymore, we're gonna put the fan shroud back on. So, goes on like this. So next, we're gonna go here. You see those two bolts? We're going to put those in, and then we're going to go over here. See those two bolts? We're going to put those in, and then we'll be done. Almost forgot the air box. So let's see here. Ow. Let's just make sure. Yeah, those weren't empty at all. Okay, the last thing is to put this shield back on. So I'm probably gonna get in your way a little bit. Last two by hand because I can't fit the impact under there without jacking the car up, which I don't feel like doing. Alright. And that's it.